Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm filming the 2020 Nissan Maxima SV, but let's take a look here at the front styling of the Maxima. Looking at the Maxima here, this thing has a really aggressive look to it. You can see the V motion grille front and center, your Nissan emblem which is there. These headlights are going to be a multi-reflector LED headlight with an LED turn signal with an LED daytime running light. I like the front grille here. It looks really aggressive, it looks really mean compared to the Altima. That looks aggressive, but the Maxima would definitely be my bet if you were looking for a more of aggressive approach of a vehicle here. I like the gloss black with the chrome trim or silver trim here in the front fascia. And sad to report, these vents here, they're fake. They don't do anything. They don't put an air curtain on the brake or the wheels, but I do like the gloss black material there. My Tesla's painted in this silver exterior color, which looks really good. Makes the car look really aggressive. But making our way to the side proportions here of the Maxima, my Tesla's wrapped in these Continental Pro Contact tire. These are a 245/45 with tire. This is an 18-inch rim design. They're part of a $900 package. Honestly, I respect this in because I like the way these wheels look with the silver and black finish. They're multi-spoke. Honestly, I'm a really big fan of how these wheels look. There's even this gloss black mirror cap here with an LED side marker. My Tesla is missing the panoramic sunroof or the standard sunroof that Nissan normally offers here. Looking at the side profile here, the car is really big, it's long. It does compete against the Toyota Avalon, which is around 193 inches overall. As you guys can see here at the D pillar here, it does have this floating roof design. Honestly, I'm a big fan of the floating roof design here. But making our way to the rear here of the Maxima, these taillights are going to be a full LED with an LED turn signal, with an LED reverse light, with an LED brake light. There's your Maxima badge, which is here, your Nissan emblem, which is there, and your SV badge to signify the trim level you have. There's some chrome around the trunk lid there, a stand-up backup camera. And down here, there's rear parking sensors. There's even a reflector integrated to the bumper. And sad to report, once more again, this is just a dual tip exhaust, but it looks like a quad tip exhaust. I'm not sure why Nissan didn't just go with a quad tip instead of a dual tip exhaust. I like the rear diffuser back here. It looks really good. It looks really clean back here as well. But open up the cargo here. Nissan says you get around 14.3 cubic feet of space. And once you lift up the load floor here, Nissan does give you a spare tire instead of a fix-a-flat kit. If you're looking for a little bit more cargo, you have to go for the Toyota Avalon. That offers around 16.7 cubic feet of space, and you can also fold the seats down to do a 60-40 split. So I'm sitting inside the interior here of the 2020 Nissan Maxima SV. Looking at the materials here, it's going to be a soft touch material with some stitching here. There's some gloss black trim around the door handle here. Your mirror controls and whatnot is going to be over here. It is one touch up, one touch down for the driver and passenger. It's slightly padded here with some stitching. Cup holder and additional storage is going to be down there. It's for your trunk release. My Tesla is missing some other functions here. I'm not sure what those functions are. Maybe if I go for a higher trim level, maybe, or a platinum, you might have some different functions there. There's your dimmer switches. It's going to be here. Your trip computer reset button there. Your headlight stock is going to be here. Wind wiper stock is going to be there. You also have this little pad here to cycle through this LCD display front and center. As you can see, this does have the normal analog gauges unlike a full LCD display. But to customize the screen here, you can just use these little arrow buttons here, either left or right. This shows you like your tire pressure, your speed limit sign there, your driver aid, which includes blind spot monitoring with the rear cross traffic alert, your fuel economy, your driver computer, and also a compass. It does show you different things like your Apple CarPlay as well. You can see here at the steering wheel, honestly, I'm a big fan of the steering wheel. I like the D-cut steering wheel design here with the stitching, nice leather, high quality leather here. I'm a really big fan of the steering wheel. I like the D-cut design there. Looking at the upper part of your dash, the instrument panel hood does have this nice leather on top with the stitching here. The dashboard has this nice leather as well. It's also stitched. Your air vents are going to be up top. Your hazard button there. Surprised to see there's a CD player in here. We live in the year 2020. I'm surprised to see people are still using CD players. My Tesla here has the 8-inch display. It does have the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto here. You can see a nice clean resolution screen here. It's nice and bright. You can go back here to the Nissan head unit here. Looking at the screen here, it does have this old look to it, my honest opinion, but it's really fast and snappy. Nice resolution screen there. Going back to the Apple CarPlay here and going to the Apple Maps. Once it uploads here, the screen of course is nice, has a nice resolution to it as well. The system is really snappy and whatnot. You can see there's some dedicated buttons here for your dimmer to dim the screen or to brighten up the screen, your sync and track. There's a back button there, the main menu, map, audio. There is a volume and tuning knob in here. This does have dual climate control, push button start as well. But putting the Maxima into reverse here, you guys can see the backup camera. Honestly, it's kind of blurry to a sense, but it does have trajectory with rear parking sensors with trajectory as well. Putting it over here to the left here, it does have a manual mode. My Tesla is missing paddle shifters. Surprised it's missing paddle shifters. Maybe go for a top grade trim, you might end up getting paddle shifters, but putting it back into park, this does house that electronic CVT, which is a really fast shifting CVT here. And you guys just heard that little clicking sound. That's for the emergency brake. There's going to be a manual emergency brake. Nissan doesn't offer a electronic brake hold there. You can see down here in this little compartment there's a USB-C, a USB port, also an aux port as well. If your phone fits in here, you can just close this black. I like the gloss black material, or this somewhat gloss black material, but it's really nice. It does hide the fingerprints just fine. There's some stitching here. It's even padded here. Some probably somewhere where you rest your knees at. And down here, there's no storage or anything like that. There is this rotary knob here, so just in case you don't want to touch the screen, you can just use this rotary knob. You can go left or right, and it does move whenever you move this little rotary knob here. There's a back button here, menu, map, and voice. There's your traction control here, sport mode. This thing makes 300 horsepower, and my Tesla is just front wheel drive. I'm not sure if Nissan offers all wheel drive on the Maximum here. There's also heated seat buttons here. There's no cool seats. You have to go for a higher trim level to get the cool seats. As you can see, some more of that material does continue here. It does have a nice feel when you touch it. I'm not sure what kind of material this is, but I like the way this material looks here on the dashboard. The glove box here is damped and it's lined with felt. It's a really massive glove box. This is actually bigger than the Toyota Avalon that are filmed. This glove box is massive compared to that one. The seats in here, of course, Nissan has one of the best seats in the game. Soft, they're comfortable, they're supportive, they hold you in place, especially with this SV model with 300 horsepower, feet in the front wheels. They do hold you in place, and they do hug you tight, but I wish they were just a little bit more aggressively bolstered. The center console here is nice and padded as well. More of that stitching you can see here. It does continue on to the center armrest here. Open up the center armrest here. It's a shallow center armrest here, but you could probably put a small wallet or maybe your phone in there. There's a 12 volt in there as well. But Nissan, you did a really good job with the interior here. I like the 8-inch display here, but you go for the Avalon, you're gonna get a 9-inch display or an 8-inch display as standard. But let's hop into the back seat of the Nissan Maxima. So I'm sitting in the back seat here of the Nissan Maxima, looking at the legroom. Nissan says you're gonna own 35.2 inches of legroom. If legroom is your thing, you have to look for the Toyota Avalon that offers around 40.4 inches of legroom. So that has the most legroom in the segment here. But shutting the door, the materials do continue from the front to the back. It's going to be a soft touch material here with stitching. There's even that gloss black trim around the door handle here. There's even slightly padded here to rest your elbows. Cup holder storage is going to be down there. There's 2 map pockets back here as well for additional storage. There's going to be air vents back here with a USB and USB-C port down there. You can fit 3 people across. Even though there's this hump here, you can definitely fit 3 people across and go on a long road trip. Putting this armrest down here, gonna be a little bit of storage here with 2 cup holders and a nice area to rest your elbows. Mind you guys, I'm 5'8" and I kind of have a little bit more headroom. So if you're over 6 feet tall, I recommend being the driver or the passenger. So I have the hood open here for the Nissan Maxima SV. Let's take a look underneath the hood here. This has the company's 3.5 liter V6. It makes 300 horsepower. My Tesla is just front wheel drive. I think you can offer this with an all-wheel drive if I'm not mistaken. I think Nissan does offer all-wheel drive for the Maximum here. This makes 261 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with the Xtronic CVT. It's a fast-shifting CVT transmission. Fuel economy is rated at 20 in the city, 30 on the highway, and then 32 combined. Premium gas is required. And as the Maximum sits, it weighs around 3,500 pounds. If you go for a Toyota Avalon, it offers 301 horsepower. So the Avalon makes 1 additional horsepower, which honestly you probably wouldn't be able to tell. Driving this Maximum and the Avalon back to back, you probably wouldn't tell the 1 horsepower difference. So start off in the 2020 Nissan Maxima SV trim. This has Nissan's driver's assistant, which includes adaptive cruise control, stop and go. Also has blind spot monitoring. So you do get Nissan's driver's assistant, which is a really good driver's assistant. Honestly, I tested it out and it's really good. It does come to a complete stop when you're in rush hour traffic and whatnot. But the seats in here are really comfortable. I like the NASA inspired seats. You definitely go on a long road trip with, in this car. You can take your family. The legroom back there is rated at 35.2 inches of legroom. It's not the most in the segment. You have to go for the Toyota Avalon that offers 40.4 inches of legroom. So if you're looking to put your family back there in the back seat, with a lot of legroom, you have to put the Avalon on your list, but the Nissan does still have a good amount of legroom back there as well. But visibility here at the Nissan Maxima is pretty good. You have this hood, the creases from the hood, you can see over that. Really good view here. These side mirrors are really big. This does have the blind spot monitoring. Good visibility all around. Like I mentioned, this does come with the Nissan driver's assistance here. Tesla has the 3.5 liter V6. It makes 300 horsepower and 261 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with Nissan's Xtronic CVT, so it's a really responsive CVT once you put your foot down here. Yeah, this car is really sporty. A lot of people call this the four-door sports car. As you guys can see, the Xtronic CVT was really quick to shift. My Tesla's missing paddle shifters. I'm not sure why it's missing paddle shifters here, but honestly, I would prefer paddle shifters. But you do have this manual mode. You can switch over to the manual mode here. But we're gonna do a quick launch here. This is a front-wheel drive, so I'm gonna brake torque it. So like I mentioned, this has the company's 3.5 liter V6. It makes 300 horsepower and 261 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired with the Xtronic CVT. So I'm gonna brake torque it. It's pretty responsive, the CVT, like I mentioned. It doesn't buzz into the cabin, so if your kids were back there sleeping, they won't hear the CVT. Nissan, they do really good CVT. It's just the buzziness of it all. But these corners back here, of course, if you have the Maximum, this car is really good for taking on sharp corners and showing off its actual good driving dynamics here. These roads are really tight, but the Nissan Maximum does hold its own. It's a really good driving family hauler here. I just wish my Tesla had the paddle shifters here, but 300 horsepower is really good horsepower. The Avalon makes 301 horsepower, but honestly, you're not gonna know the 1 horsepower difference. With this making 300 horsepower is really good. Fuel economy is rated at 20 in the city, 30 on the highway. And let's do another acceleration run here really quick. I'm gonna put it into a sport mode. I'm gonna turn off the traction, and of course, like I mentioned, this thing is feeding 300 horsepower to the front wheel, so I know it's gonna scream a lot. Yeah, you will roast your front tires. If you do that a lot, you're gonna burn out your front tires. But with this thing being in sport mode, the Xtronic is snappy. It goes through the gears just fine. Like I mentioned, you don't hear a lot of that buzziness from the CVT. Just put your foot down here. It's pretty good to respond. Like I mentioned, really good transmission. But if you want to get an 8-speed automatic, you have to look at the other competitors. But Chevy, they discontinued the Chevy Impala, so it's just the Nissan Maximum still in the segment, and also the Toyota Avalon. So you still have another competitor to compete against. I drove the TRD Pro version of the Avalon. That one was really sporty, but this car is really sporty as well, and it does hold its own with 300 horsepower. So the Avalon does have some competition, even with the good driver's assistance, great handling. The steering feel is really good. It's playful. You can feel what the front tires are doing. I'm not sure if you can get all-wheel drive on the Maximum here. If you guys know if you get all-wheel drive, just let me know in the comment section down below. But my Tesla here is the front-wheel drive version of the Maximum here. But this thing is really good. It performs really good. The throttle response is really good. Even in sport mode, the steering still feels light, which is good in my opinion. It doesn't have a lot of heft to it. You can definitely feel what the front tires and stuff are doing once this thing is in sport mode. And with 300 horsepower, this car can hustle. It can move the weight around, and it sounds pretty good. Honestly, it sounds really good. Like I mentioned, the CVT is not buzzy like I've been saying, but Nissan, you did a really good job with the Maximum here, and honestly, this car does live up to the name as a 4-door sports car. So after spending time with the 2020 Nissan Maxima SV, as you guys seen from the driving experience, this thing is really sporty. It has a really good heft from the steering wheel, even though it's a little light, but honestly, I think this is one of the best four-door sports sedan cars that you could probably buy. So how much does a Nissan Maxima cost? Starting price of my Tesla is at $36,650. My Tesla has some optional equipment, which rolls in the 18-inch alloy wheels, which is around $900. You have the rear USB ports and also the floor mats, including destination. My Tesla tickets for a grand total of $39,560. I'd like to give a special thanks to HGreg Nissan Kendall for providing me with the 2020 Nissan Maxima SV. If you're on the market for a Nissan Maxima, you can come to HGreg Kendall and ask for the marketing agent Gaby. They'll get you to a new, used, or pre-owned vehicle. Hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview here on the 2020 Nissan Maxima SV. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at DriveOnReviews, and please keep subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.